First thing I want to do is I want our lovely panel of volunteers to introduce themselves briefly and tell you where they come from. Tom?
Hello everybody, my name is Tom Duma. I'm from Warren, Ohio, together with my wife. We have Tom Duma Fine Jewelers. She's really the boss, but she allows me to put my name on the sign. We took a 106-year-old family business in 2002 and shut it down, changed the name, and redirected our business model. And in 2007, we were voted a cool store by In-Store magazine. And our role, I have been in the family business growing up all my life in it. And so when we changed directions in 2002, we looked at our market and we identified that there was a big lack, if you will, in a higher end type store with brands. So we set our course and that's the direction we went. And today we have 12 employees. And my role as president is basically keeping all of our staff in order, trying to get and perfect each one of the managers to let them do their job.
Thank you, sir. This is Tom's store, pretty store, beautiful store actually. Lisa?
Hello, my name is Lisa Malbrink and I'm from Winnipeg, Manitoba, which is in Canada. And I am a co-owner with my parents, Alan and Anita. I'm a third-generation jeweler, so my grandfather had a jewelry store prior to my parents opening their store in 1992, where I worked part-time on Saturdays. Didn't think that the jewelry industry was for me till I completed my undergraduate degree and realized that I really enjoyed the business. So I do a lot of the design work with my parents, as well a graduate gemologist from GIA. And we, 2 years ago, built a two-story geothermal building. The first of its kind in, I believe, in North America.
We used to have a picture of it.
For our industry. And
you just keep talking, and we're going to try to get this monitor fixed.
So we've moved from our 750 square foot location to about 1,400 square feet, and it's a very well lit space with a lot of natural light. And we're a boutique store. We don't have any employees except for the three of us who are owners, and are able to offer kind of a unique customer experience from that. So we were featured in the In-Store magazine in November of 2010, and I'm happy to be here today. So.
Thank you. Lisa number two.
My name is Lisa Maloney. I'm from Kelowna, British Columbia, which is also in Canada. It's the Canadian side of the table. Also the Lisa side of the table. We opened in Kelowna in '94 as a traditional jewelry store, and it didn't go over so well. We came from Saskatchewan, and so we changed our business model to primarily estate jewelry, which went over really well. Then in 1999, we stopped displaying jewelry in showcases. We went to all online, so people actually look at the jewelry in our store on computer monitors. And whatever they want to see, we pull out for them. And then we started bringing back the new jewelry. So right now we're about half new jewelry, half estate jewelry, without the showcases. I work with 7 of my family members. And
God bless you.
I work with my parents, my brother, my sister, my niece, and my husband. Every day, all day. And we have a lot of fun. And I'm happy to be here too.
Yeah. Monica.
My name is Monica Kessler. I'm here with Kessler's Diamonds out of Wisconsin. So we're back to the Midwest over here. We've left Canada, back to US. And we've been open for over 30 years. We have 5 locations. Started with one very small store. Our store is going to be featured, I think, in the next couple months, and that's our new Germantown store, which we bought over a 20,000 square foot furniture store. And now we've moved everything. Our main goldsmiths are there, our inventory department, and our warehouse. I started as a senior, kind of similar with you. I started as a senior in high school, kind of just doing odds and ends, filling in. Went away to the University of Minnesota, got a degree in nutrition, having nothing to do with the industry. But was working on the side in Christmas and winter breaks and kind of felt the same way. I finished the degree and figured this isn't the place for me. I should be back in the family business. So went back. I was in the office position, and then I was on the sales floor, and now I'm in the buying position, which I love. And something unique about us is that we do diamonds better because diamonds are all we do. We wanted to make something unique for our company and decided to focus on just diamonds. So we don't have colored stones, we don't have watches, we don't have figurines or anything like that. We just kind of find our specialty, kind of opposite of Tom, kind of brand our own. We have little brands in the store.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that tells you we got a pretty good cross-section of concepts here. I, on the other hand, had 12 stores and 3 partners for 21 years. In Tennessee, Kentucky, Missouri. Got really smart and got out of the retail side. I love the retail side. I was 30 years old when I got in the business again. And one of the first conversations I had with a trainer 30 years ago, or maybe 33 years ago, was about service. Customer service. It's the thing. It's important. 33 years later, every commercial that I see on television or ad campaigns, it's all about service. It's all about service. We're super service. We do service. We are service. Service is the thing. We're subordinate. We take care of our customers, right? So I was asked to make a speech to open up the Hearts on Fire University last year. And my friends at the Knot gave me their 2010 wedding cert. Right? I got some bad news for you. You're not doing a really good job of service. 60% of the brides who got a diamond as the first major diamond purchase in their life for an engagement ring did not hear, even as a thank you note, from the jeweler. 60% of the brides and grooms said they would probably not necessarily go back there for their jewelry needs where they bought their engagement ring, which is the initial purchase. So 33 years later in my career, we're still not doing the job we say we're doing. And so the hope today is that maybe we define that, we find out if we're doing something well, what it is, and my goal is that we got some idea by the time this is over today is why we think we're doing something that we may not be doing, because 60% is a big number. And that's just one statistic. That's just one thing about the engagement. And I'm like, really? What, you sold a diamond to somebody, you sold a polished rock for $10,000 and you didn't send them a nope? Interesting, huh? So, all by way of getting this on the ground to say, let's look at service, let's decide what it is, and let's figure out, if we can, how we implement it. Okay. You, listen, tell me what is service to you. If you say, I have great customer service, I care about my customer, what's that mean?
I think that means them getting an experience that they can't get anywhere else. And I think that you're only going to know whether you're providing that if you have a relationship with them after the sale. I mean, we have customers that come in just to show us the baby, or just because they're downtown and wanted to stop by on their way to Starbucks. I think it's what you see after the sale happens. Or even if they don't buy from us, which we would hope is rare, that dialogue is still continuing where, no, we didn't buy, but there's still discussion there. And there's still a connection, so that maybe it's next time.
Do you really care?
Do I need to talk louder?
No, you're fine. Do you really care?
Do I really care? I really care.
One of the surveys that I saw said that a lot of people think the jewelers maybe used car salesmen, maybe whatever, but the jewelers are saying what they got to say to sell a polished rock, that they really don't care. Do you care? Do you demonstrate that care to your customers? They know that this is like a really neat place to...
I think we do. I mean,
How do you demonstrate that?
we demonstrate that by, I think, first of all, communicating with them the way they want to be communicated with. Most of our staff are, well, not most, half are fairly young. We're in our late 20s, early 30s. We're big texters. We're big on Facebook and Twitter. We communicate with people the way they want to be communicated to. And I think that shows we care, because we're not traditionally just going to call them because that's what you do.
Cool. Listen, number 2. You answer that for me. What is service? What is super service?
Super service.
In
I
your
can give
store?
you an example of something that happened to me recently. I knew of an older client of ours who was in her early 80s and she was looking to sell her house. I had another client who was looking to buy a house, and so I set them up, and my client Sarah, bought this client's house. So I think service has to go beyond the actual sale of the piece of jewelry, but what else can you do for your client? What else can you make for their experience to be something really unusual that they'll be able to tell their friends about, which is a great referral back to your business. So I think it really builds on offering them something they can't get elsewhere, but also after the actual purchase, being able to build a relationship. And our business has really grown from that over the years. It is about developing relationships, and we do really care.
All right, yeah, all right. I believe you really care. What is developing a relationship? Define the word relationship. I hear that all the time.
Well, when clients come into our store, we know their name. We know their kids' names. I mean, some of the kids' names we have to keep on file to remember a bit. But our clients, they walk in our door and will say, "Hello, Terry. How are you today? How was your trip to Australia last year?" We remember things like that, and that's just. I'm not sure why I remember the little bits of information that they had shared with us when they came into our store, whether it was to buy something or to have their jewelry cleaned. But that's something we're able to build on. And we do offer complimentary polishing and cleaning, which I'm sure a lot of other jewelers do, but and encourage our clients to use those services, and that's how we're able to maintain those relationships over the years.
Monica?
Customer service for us, I believe that our company is built around customers. I mean, obviously. Our motto is client first, team second, self third. So we're always putting the client first. And it's not just talking the talk, it's walking the walk. Our warranty is developed for the client. It's called a no small print warranty. We don't have checkups. We don't have all these little requirements in order to keep this warranty. It's very client-based. I agree with Elisa's as far as creating this environment that they want to come back to and that they want to recommend to their clients. Referral is huge for us. We wouldn't have come from a one store, 500 square foot, storefront in a strip mall to 5 freestanding stores throughout southeastern Wisconsin. So clients are very important to us. We call him Bob, and that's our average Bob client, and we cater to him in every way that we can.
When Terry said that 60% don't send thank yous, I'm sitting here thinking, how about we need to be able to close the sale to send the thank you? So customer service starts from the moment that they walk in the door. Surveys say that they're going to judge us within the first 5 seconds of them walking in the door. So what we look at every day that we have staff meetings with our staff before we start store, and customer service is always one of those topics. And we look at what we wear to what we say, because that's going to be used against us, if you will, or for us in the customer's mind. And so the way that we greet them, from absolutely forbidden in our store, is, "May I help you?" Just simple things, and I'm sure a lot of you know that and operate in those principles. But it's keeping them in forefront of your staff and getting them to the place where you create the culture of customer service that's going to create that wow experience for your customers. And it starts with the relationship. It starts with knowing everything about them. But when you first go in there, introduce yourself to them. Say your name, so get their name before you even start asking them what you come in for today. What are you looking for? Those things like that. It's starting that process of building a relationship from the moment that they walk in the door, and make it all about them. I used examples that happened to me and my wife, whether we go to dinner, when we go to the stores, the way that we're treated, and then every day I'll have a real life lesson that happened to me at another store, to use it to train our staff. Went in the other day to pick up my daughter some Zyrtec. She's got bad allergies. There was 2 employees, the pharmacist and an assistant, and the pharmacist was training the assistant on the computer as I stood at the counter, and I watched my watch, my chronograph, I started the time, and it was 3 minutes. And 3 minutes really doesn't sound that long, but until you sit there quietly for 3 minutes. So I made my staff I didn't say anything. I said, let's just sit here for a second. Then I went on to explain the story. And so it's just little things, paying attention to the details, that if you're in the middle, we all have tasks during the day. All of our tasks are important. But the moment we let our tasks get above customer service, above that person walking through that door, because within 5 seconds they're going to form an opinion about you and your store. So you better be careful of what you say and how you look within that first 5 seconds to that customer, because that will make or break great customer service.
Very well said. You ready? So a lot of smart people are not just sitting up here, they're sitting out there. Anybody got a definition of this customer service thing, of something you do that defines how that works for you? Anybody want to jump in here from the audience? I got somebody right here. It'd be helpful if I turn that thing on.
222. Oh, I started wrong, sorry. Anyway, when people walk in our store, I immediately say, have you been here before? They say yes or no. Would you like a cup of hot herbal tea? Would you like oatmeal? And that always throws them off, especially in the summertime. Nobody wants oatmeal in the summertime. I mean, some people do. But I offer them something that they don't usually get. During Passover, I offered Passover sweets that through the people that weren't Jewish, you know. I mean, just trying something different. What do you do when you recognize the person and you can't think of their name?
Honey, how you doing? That's a nice thing about living in the South. Darling, it is so good to see you today.
It is
I'll
all
get it
about the
sooner or later,
details.
but we have, that's an edge of the South. So, anybody else one more person want to throw something out? Yeah, Mike.
She was asking, what do you do when you can't remember their name? I always look at what they're wearing, jewelry-wise, and what they bought from me, and I look it up in the computer system.
That works.
And that does the trick.
Okay, so is that defined? It's culture in the store. It's like everywhere in the store. It's constant. It's consistent. It's a real concern. I don't think you can fake it. I think you can be read. People know if you really are there. If you care about them, if you care about their fix. So, how do you teach that in the store? I know you love it. I know you have it. How do you jump in? How do you train that? How do you make sure that everybody's on the same page?
Well, we have what's called Kessler University for every new hire, whether it's a salesperson, an office person, a goldsmith. No matter their role in their company, they go through it. And it starts with the company culture before you even talk about product. And our Bible, if you want to say, is Covey's 7 Habits for Highly Successful People. And it's about learning about yourself, and then it's about learning how to work with the people that are with you, and in turn, your customers. And it's all about the communication, the relationship building, and treating people as equals. And I think it helps create a really great team atmosphere within our
So let me ask you this. It's a great phrase. Treat people as equals. That's good. I like that. But I've noticed in the jewelry business, especially in family businesses, that many times there is a space between the associates and the owners that the owners really want there because they want to feel more important, and they're not empowering these people to do. Do you deal with that? Do you empower you? Are they part of your deal really, or do you have it in space?
Coming from being a family member, I could be biased by saying that, but I know that I'm not, because we just actually sold, my father just sold 49%, and we were employee owned. And that's really important. And before we were ever even employee owned, I think everybody had that empowerment. We don't have, per se, this is what you do in this situation. We've always empowered the people to make the right decisions. And my father would always say, 9 out of 10 times you're going to make a good decision that's going to create money and make money for the store. 1 out of 10 times you're going to make a bad decision and it's going to cost a lot of money. But you're going to learn from those mistakes and be better from that. So absolutely, there's open dialogue. We have an open book system. Everybody knows where our LLC balance is. Everybody knows where our gross profit is. Everybody It's called our Richard Report, and we have it every Monday, and every day, and everybody knows where we are, where our goals are. Everybody's completely involved from the bottom to the top, if you want to say that.
Now, how do you train for this? How do you train? How do you create a culture like that and make sure everybody's saying the same thing? Because, you know, it only takes one person. If you have 12 people in your store, 11 of them are exactly there, tuned in and really care and exhibit that. One will screw up the whole thing. How do you do it?
One of the words you said was consistent and repetition. We have to do it on a daily basis. And these are principles, whether it's selling techniques or customer service, you have to go over them. We find that every day that you talk about it, make it important. Our core values are posted in our back room, and number one of our core values is creating a wow experience for our customer. And so if it's number one on our core values, it's something that we talk about. It's part of our complete fiber and makeup. So when we see an associate not creating the wow experience, then we coach. It gives us an opportunity to coach, just as if you're doing it on sales techniques, or if you're an admin and you're seeing somebody that's not performing to the level that you want them to, the standard that you set in your store, then you have to take those opportunities to continue to coach and coach and coach. It's like a relay race, if you will. Your fastest people are in the back, and the slowest ones start the relay. And as they pass the baton, then you're running right alongside. And so we look at that as that we have to run alongside with our staff members all the time in explaining whether it's customer service or any of the other important things that are happening in the store. So it's a daily thing that we do every single day.
Lisa 1, Lisa 2, either one. Jump in.
I think that there's eight of my family altogether, so I think we care because we're all in it together. Like, everybody I'm related to is pretty much there. The people that are not related to us, which is our accountants, our front salesperson Dill, and our goldsmith, I think we really try to lead by example, and we treat people the way we want to be treated, and we're not perfect. If we make mistakes, we sincerely, apologize and make up for it. But I think really just leading by example, doing it the way we want it to be done, and following up with the others to make sure that they're embracing what we're trying to get across.
The non-family members are empowered to make decisions and act and keep that culture at the counter.
I'm not going to say I'm not a micromanager, because I am. My dad trained me well. But she is exactly like I am, and she got that from me, even though we're not related. We try not to be, but it's the way it happens.
That's part of the culture. Lisa 2, Lisa 1, whichever you want.
Well, we don't have other staff, so it's hard for me to comment on that, but we do contract out some areas in which we aren't experts. And even with those people, we often ask for their input on decisions that we're making as a business too. So, yeah.
So, now, the baby boomers were a little self-absorbed. I'm one, I can say that. And we're starting on the back burner now because we didn't keep any of our money, we spent it all, and we're probably not buying as much jewelry going forward because we're trying to figure out how we're going to sell what we've got to eat. However, if you thought we were self-absorbed, where do you mean our kids? Because they can be real jerks. I got one. And they are really self-absorbed. And the extras have sort of gone into not land. We don't know where they're going to end up, but the millennials are really difficult. The research is showing some really, they want to know where you took the diamond out of the ground. They want to know if you put the trees back after you took the diamond out of the ground. They want to know if you hired locals to work in the mines where you took the diamond out of the ground, and did you educate their children while they were in the mines, and do they have a retirement plan, and and it goes on and on and on. They also, this is the question's coming, they also believe that they're so empowered by their lifestyle that they've had that we gave them, that anything they choose to do is okay. So I would throw back to these lovely people up here before I ask you all, we have a group of belligerent, hard to deal with, abrasive customers to whom we're trying to sell polished rocks for $10,000 a piece. How are you going to deal with these people when they come in and they're unreasonable? Customer service breaks down first when I don't get what I want. And what if what I want is more than you can possibly deliver? How do you handle the bad, difficult case? Anybody wants to start with that?
First, you listen. Listen to what the complaint is, because obviously, as Lisa said, we're not perfect, and you're not going to go throughout your day, throughout your month, without having a customer that's dissatisfied. The key is trying to find out, first of all, making sure that you find out that the customer is dissatisfied. And once it is, I think simply is, Lisa said, I'm not sure which one or two, but said that you apologize. You admit that you're wrong. But listen, and not try to stand up for your staff member or whatever, but fully listen and then empathize with them. Put yourself in their shoes. Say you're sorry. Send them a gift certificate to a local restaurant. Do whatever you can to try to get them back in there. I'll send a letter out, or I'll get them on the phone, and I literally ask them for forgiveness, saying that, you know what, I'm a human being, and I am not perfect. My staff is not perfect. And please accept our apologies. Please give us a second chance. And so we do what we can to try to build the bridge back again. Once that bridge is burned, if you will, it's all you can do is try. And that is part of the customer service, is going above and beyond to try to make a bad situation good.
Monica?
I think kind of bouncing off what Tom was saying is sincerity. It's admitting it, being upfront with it. You can't control what's already happened. You can only move forward and try to get past what had happened. But in listening, like he was saying, is very important. You can't try to step in and try to come back with your excuse or your, and it could very well that you have a great excuse because it was a vendor's problem or it's this, but they don't care about that. They care about you. It's from your store. So it's not making excuses, and it's just being honest.
That's interesting. That's where the connect comes. That's where this is the concept of empowering the people we talked about earlier in the customer service arena. You just said something that's really important. If you have this gap, if any of you have this gap between ownership and the front, and they're not empowered and they have to come to you and they can't make decisions, the real deal is that whoever they're talking to is the one that screwed up, and they screwed up your reputation, and if that person can't fix it, they're not as happy when they have to come to you, and that person loses all their credibility. That customer will never talk to them again. That's why removing that empowerment gap is so important in customer service. I'm going to talk to you, I'm going to sell you, and I'm going to fix this if it goes south. One or two?
I was thinking more of the angle of if you're having an issue, like when they first come in, and I think that what we really tried to do in the last few years is we're not going to be all things to all people. We discovered that we did not do well selling watches. We didn't have enough training or staff that understood it. It didn't work for us, so we stopped carrying watches. We stopped carrying pearls. We stopped carrying silver. We stopped carrying...
What do you have left?
We stopped doing watch repairs. We stopped doing watch batteries. We focused on what we do well. And then I'm confident that everybody that we have is going to be able to deliver our standards because we know it. We're not focused on the things that we really are just watching because we're not ready for it.
So you go fix it.
We go fix it?
If something's wrong, you go fix it. If you have an incident, you do whatever has to be done to get this thing resolved.
Yep.
So I come to you and I bought a ring 4 months ago. I don't like it. I want to make it.
Well, we buy jewelry. Half of what we do is we buy estate jewelry. So we have a program for people that bought jewelry from us to get them.
I don't care about your program. I want my money back and I want it right now. I don't like this and I'm sorry about it.
Well, we get. Did she leave you? We guarantee the ring, not the relationship.
It's none of your business. I want my money back.
Well,
That's what you're going to hear from these kids. I'm telling you. It's like gum. They're going to chew and spit it out. And they're going to come back. No, I don't want it. Well, you have to give me my money back. I'll sue you. I'll get on.
They won't sue you.
You don't know. I want to tell you this. I gotta tell you a quick story here because this is important. 10 years ago, even a B movie that was not that great had a shelf life and an income span of about 3 or 4 weeks. Even a stinker would make its money back, even if it didn't make money, but it took 3 or 4 or 5 weeks for it to get out that this was a bomb to go see it. You know what that number is today? 3.5 hours. Huh? 3.5 hours. Yeah, that's true. They're sitting in the theater, they're not supposed to, but they are. They're walking out the door saying this is a bomb. And hundreds of thousands of people, Facebook, are finding out like that. And then the movie people are going nuts, they don't know what to do. Because this opinion is coming out immediately. And now it's 3 or 4 hours before it gets out, and maybe it's got a shelf life of 2 or 3 days. The stinkers are just gone. They end up on television. It's very interesting. So you gotta watch it. They have a tool, these disgruntled kids think they're gonna take back. Yeah, okay, well, jump in, tell me.
Just this week, we had a lady come in, she bought a $12,000 Rolex at Christmas time. Here we are, 4 months later, she brought it back. So what are we gonna do? Take it back? Or are we gonna tell her our policy is 30 days? We took it back.
There you go.
Because we know that we want to continue to keep that bridge open, so we know that she's gonna come back.
Now I'm just giving you an opinion, one minute. That's the answer. Because, I'm going to talk to you about firing a customer, but in the customer service concept, but that's the answer. Did you want to get in on this? Anybody else?
Well, the leases seem to disagree with that.
Pardon?
Our policies, we wouldn't take it back, and for us, we feel like as though when we're through talking and working with our clients prior to purchase, they're aware of our return or exchange policies.
So
for our store,
you'll lose a customer to a policy.
I could understand.
I was just gonna say, you're gonna lose a customer to a policy. This customer, so it wasn't a first eye. I should qualify that in the sense is that the customer has been there before. The husband bought it for her at Christmas time, and she has made this. She came in and she says, we've been traveling. We did this. She had every excuse because we said, well, why didn't you come back? Had it been worn, it probably had a few little, what didn't sit in the box. So now I can't sell it as new. All the stickers came off. My warranty card was filled out. Rolex is good, it's a used watch. So I had to take a hit. But I'm willing to do that because I know that I will make it up from this family in the long run.
I got it. No,
But the question was, would you have done it for anyone? Or are you just thinking of this particular customer?
I think that everything needs to be judged on a case-by-case basis.
Okay. So, Terry, you were saying that we just have to do it. Yeah, but I think
that's what you should. But that gets to fire. I got smart people out here. My policy is I'm going to do what's necessary to take care of the deal, and I'm not going to lose a customer. Because if I lose them, I'll never see them again, and they're hard to come by. And I had a lot of investment. If I lose a little on the watch, I'll make it up on the thing. I'm going to do what's necessary until we get to abuse and I fire them. That's a different story. But until they're abusing me, I'm going to do it. Who agrees? Okay, some of you are going to stay in business. Who disagrees? Okay, all right. I never let a policy. I'm not going to let a policy. My policy will kill customer service, and the culture will go away, and the word will get out. That's just me. I'm not saying that's right. But now, yeah.
I was just going to add that from my perspective, there are certain clients and customers, and you guys all have them, who they're going to be a problem before they bought anything from you.
Yes.
These are the people that.
That's the customer.
Yeah, I've said it a few times this year. I'm afraid that I'm not going to be able to offer you what you're looking for.
How many of you have fired a customer? Absolutely.
Yeah. And so then you're kind of.
No, you didn't.
Then you're not having to deal with that after the fact. So if you can kind of deal with the situation before you're even.
I think the greatest customer service culture is that. Boys. Hold on. Woods. Hold on. I'll let you talk. You shouldn't let a policy destroy customer service. It's just not good. And it's certainly not good with the Twitter thing I was talking about. and you should fire the customer that is absolutely not going to ever be happy with anything. We've all had to deal with it. Yes, ma'am.
Well, for us, going back to the 7 habits, it's one of them is think win-wins. You have to think what's best for the client, what's best for the company, and thinking and beginning with the end in mind. It's always thinking long-term. It's not about what's going to happen now, but when you have and I don't know what the statistics are, but if you have an angry client that says something about you, it goes out tenfold. You have a happy client, it goes out, they reach one person, and then angry client reaches 10 people. So you got to think of the big picture. If you please that one client, 10 more people are going to hear about that great service.
All right, Lewis, you have a question? Did you do credit or cash?
Refunded down that particular one. But there are times when we'll do credit or times we'll do refund. It's a good customer.
All right, where's my microphone? Oh, there it is. You have a question? Were you going to say something earlier?
I was going to talk about how social media it tenfolds. You can have a client that wants a refund, and then they're going to think of 10 other things that they weren't happy about. They're going to slam you online. It's really dangerous to let policy come in the way of your reputation. It's just scary. Today's world is scary. And no, we don't want these fools. We ask questions. Why don't you like it? Can we find you something that you like? Right? It's easy. We're not just saying just give them their money. I mean, come on.
Anybody else want to get down this? We found the subject I was looking for. Who wants to comment? Because this is a tough one. This is a hard one. This is the core of customer service, and I got a little story for you that I can't tell you the answer to all this stuff. Our job here is not to do that. All right, is to make you think about it and define it for your culture. Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to expand a little bit on how she's saying. If you ask questions, I don't think that ever when a customer has come back, with a perfectly intact, good piece of jewelry that just wants to exchange it, or, well, exchanges are different, but that just wants a refund after asking questions, that they haven't decided to take it afterwards. If you ask the right questions, see, why exactly is it that you're not satisfied with this? Did something go on? Is this not working correctly? Oh, well, you left it at this point.
My bottom line is my policy can't get in the way, so you're going to give her the money back if that's what it comes to.
If it comes down to it at the very end, yes.
Without
but I think that
making her mad in the process.
No, but of course, I think that in between point A when they're really mad, if you ask them questions and sincerely care about their happiness and what went on with the item, they generally, because you've supported them, end up enjoying the item again. It's usually something else that created this sort of turbulation or something for
Somebody else want to get? I got a guy in the very back that's been trying to talk to me all day. Go. The mic's coming at you. He's a cool store too, so maybe he's got some insights.
First of all, we don't have customers. We have clients and guests.
Love it.
Second of all, customer service, clients and guests are so much greater than boiling down to one single transaction. And the bigger picture has to be taken into consideration. Your clients, your guests are not one single transaction. It is a total experience, and it's a fabric of people that you do business with, see them all day long, all week long, throughout your career, and it does not boil down to a single transaction. I agree with Tom wholeheartedly that, yes, it does boil down to what that individual is about, your relationship with them over a long period of time, and that's just the simple fact of the matter.
I agree with that, and I think you have to define it for yourself. And I think, we didn't take long in this 45-minute session to scrape off the top of that place and find out that this is really a core issue, and I think you have to address it. I can't tell you, and these folks, beautiful folks that have been talking, can't tell you. I can tell you this. My dad was the best salesman I know. He could read people like nobody's business. He had several little businesses. He made a nice little living for the family. And in the day before the big box stores, he had the appliance store, TV store, lawnmowers, stereos, back when you bought stereo. So a lady comes in one day and to get a piece for a lawnmower. His name was Doris. Doris, how you doing? I'm doing fine, Miss Jones. I'm just doing fine. And I was working, and she said, I got to get a piece from more. I don't know. She gets it. She goes out to get in her truck, and he's talking to her, walking, and he sees this Sears television in the back of her pickup, in a box. And he said, Miss Jones, did you go to Sears and buy a TV? And she said, Doris, I'm sorry. I said, I saw one, I liked it, and I do business. She said, oh, that's okay, it's no problem. I knew what was coming. She leaves. My dad says, he calls my mother, says, we're going to be a little late for dinner. He goes over and gets his Zenith. That was his hotline. He loves Zenith. He loves the ET television, big old thing. We load his Zenith in the truck. We go to Miss Jones' house. We knock on the door. And he said, you know, Miss Jones, he said, I got to tell you, he said, you've been doing business with me forever, and I've got a responsibility to you. And he said, if you won't buy a TV from Sears, that's fine. But I'm going to set this Zenith up next to that Sears TV. You watch it for a week. You call me, and I'll either come and get mine, or I'll take yours back to Sears. You know what we did? We took it back to Sears. Now, I know that in that little story is the heart of customer service. He wasn't belligerent. He wasn't mad. He didn't. We actually had sit down and had coffee with him. But he made his point and he made his statement. That's as close as I can get to it. I was probably 12 years old. I'll never forget. Smooth. Nobody was upset. Nobody was mad. He didn't inject policy. He didn't inject trouble. He didn't inject attitude. He just took care of his customer. And if she had said, I like the Sears TV, we would have gone and got the Zenith and brought it back to the store. Now that's all I can tell you. I can't define it for you. I can't answer for you in your place, but I can tell you that that's the best customer service story I think I've ever heard. And I got to watch it live. We have about a minute, and these folks will be glad to answer questions or your comments on this very important subject are welcome. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you just made a sale.
Can you stand up so we can see you? Please.
You just made a sale, $2,500 to a man who bought a birthday present for his wife. Read me the thank you card you write to him.
We have a customer relationship management software program. So every sale, every repair, every battery, everything that comes in beside the UPS guy and the FedEx guy gets a card filled out, gets into our system, and then at the end of the day, the next morning, it prints out everything that does next action, as well as thank you letters. It's a form letter. We don't use the form letters, but it has all the information on it, and then each salesperson is to write it in their own handwriting to their customer, making it personalized, thanking them for coming in. What would I say? Mr. Jones, thank you so much for placing trust in me and Tom Duma Fine Jewelers. I always use the word trust. I say that I know that you have many choices, and we're just very glad that you chose us to celebrate this milestone, or whatever it is. So it's the words trust and choice and options that I place in every one of my thank you letters that goes out. So, and then I don't tell my staff what to write, but look over them to make sure that they're saying, but it's coming from their heart. It's what we wanted to just be natural, a natural thank you.
I have to say, because they want you on the floor, I can't let this run on forever, so I can have time for one more question. Anybody got a question? One. The young lady has a question right here, and this is going to have to be the last one. Because
you just mentioned a software. Would you mind saying?
Yeah.
All right, Tom.
Tom.
Just don't.
Tom.
What's the name of the software?
So he was just saying, Sales Tracks, out of Texas, $2,000 roughly. Has a door counter on it, so you can get your closing ratios. And the only thing is that it's only as good as the data that you put in. We had my sister actually is our CRM manager, if you will, and so that's all she does. And so if a customer gets out the door and she didn't get a sales card on tracker note, we call it, then she goes to the sales associate, says, you know what, I need that. And so that's how we stay.
Everybody got that name? If you want to look it up, listen. I don't know how you're going to resolve all this stuff. I'm glad you were here. I appreciate you being here. This is going to be an issue. And the millennial thing, the people that are coming into your stores, the customers you're hoping to develop, you're going to have to deal with this, and I hope you focus on it, and I hope that it helps you today to be here. I want to thank the panel, and I want to thank you guys for being here.